who use pot and are proud of it. They swear it makes them better parents. Well, joining me now is Cheryl Shuman, who runs the Beverly Hills Cannabis Club. Welcome to you, ladies.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So you are the pot mums of Beverly Hills. Let me start with you then, Cheryl. You seem to be the ringleader of this intriguing group. In a nutshell, what is this all about?
Well, I was diagnosed with cancer in 2006, and I used cannabis as a last resort to heal myself and was able to stabilize myself. And when I did that, I felt it was very important to come out of the closet as a corporate woman who used cannabis to basically redefine the sector. There's a huge stereotype that's usually assigned to a cannabis user, and it's not exactly pretty, and it's not exactly a nice image. So when I got cancer and started using cannabis, I wanted to redefine it, give hope and empowerment to women who are like me, who are corporate women out there in the world, so that they could be honest about their cannabis use with their children and basically put a new face on it and redefine it.
It reduced the pain, and it also reduced anxiety, you believe?
Yes.
And have you all found that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So good for anxiety, good for pain reduction.
Great for PMS.
Yeah,
Great for
Right?
Okay.
I don't deal with that no more.
Pharmaceuticals and an intravenous morphine pump during cancer treatment and was diagnosed as terminal. I was actually in the middle of planning my memorial service when I had given up. And when I went into hospice care, my daughter, who's here, was my caregiver, and she held my hand and she said, "Mom, we're going to take care of you." And we found out how to get a legal garden, started our garden, and now we've built a multi-million-dollar company together.
And it obviously is potentially going to be huge business going forward, because this is clearly the way that America is moving on this debate. Amy, there'll be lots of mums watching this at home saying, this is outrageous. What do these women think they're doing, smoking all this dope and then looking after their kids? And as they're saying that, they'll be clutching a large glass of wine.
Or vodka.
Exactly.
Or having a drink, and seeing no hypocrisy there. And this comes to the central nub of this whole debate, for me anyway, which is cannabis, marijuana, is it any different in terms of the potential harm to a parent, to a mother, to a wife, to anybody, than alcohol? But Cheryl, here's the thing. You've all got kids. When they get to be teenagers, you know, my understanding about marijuana is that it can be more problematic in younger people below the age of 25, say, than it is for fully grown adults. Knowing that, would you be happy for your kids to take cannabis from teenage years?
Well, I wanted to address one thing a moment ago. An important fact about prescription tobacco and alcohol and cannabis: no one has ever died of a drug overdose using cannabis ever in the history of medicine. It was available for 3,500 years and could even be purchased on our pharmacy shelves until 1937. On the other hand, alcohol, tobacco, and prescription drugs account for millions of deaths every year. Now, getting back to the children issue, I had a different situation. I had to come out of the closet with my children because I had cancer, and my children are grown.
You call it coming out of the closet, then?
Yes.
The secret marijuana use?
Yes. Well, here's what's happened. There are millions of cannabis consumers all across this country. And what's happened, because the media generally portrays this negative image and stereotype, people who have corporate jobs, high-paying jobs, who have children, they're afraid they're going to lose their children. So they are afraid to come out of the closet. And this is very similar, appears, to the LGBT movement, the gay marriage movement. This is a lifestyle choice.
Well, it's interesting, and we're going to reveal the results of a new poll later, but it certainly suggests that the majority of Americans now, January, are moving in favour of legalising marijuana, in the same way that if you took the same thing on gay marriage 10 years ago, not a chance, now the slight majority are in favour of. Well, look, America, let's be honest, America is awash with prescription drugs and with over-the-counter drugs. I mean, you go to any Walmart, any of those places, it's just like a sea of pills that America takes. Sanjay Gupta, who I'm going to talk to later, did a whole documentary about this. America takes more than any other country on planet Earth. So, you know, that's why I think the cannabis debate here is particularly interesting.
Here's,
because it is a, you know, like for like. You got to say, how can this be any more harmful than taking Vicodin every day? I've taken Vicodin when I broke a load of ribs. It was hypnotic. I mean, by the end of it, I was hooked on this stuff.
My children told me at their private school that the biggest problem is not cannabis. They kind of laugh at cannabis. They don't take it seriously. The big fad with young people today are prescription pill parties, where they go in and raid their parents' medicine cabinets, put them in a bowl, they take a little turn, and they all take a bunch of pills.
Because they've watched House and they think, get me a load of Vicodin. I mean, this is actually a real point. A lot of those drugs that you get for pain relief and so on that you can get through a doctor are pretty addictive.
The other thing, too, I'd like to address about cannabis, The thing that I've seen is a...
Why do you call it cannabis and not marijuana?
Because
and sometimes the other...
marijuana is the slang name and cannabis is actually the true scientific name.
So the actual drug itself is cannabis,
yes.
and it's become known as marijuana.
And I think it deserves some respect, so I always call it cannabis.
Okay, okay, even though you're known as the Martha Stewart of marijuana. By the way, why are you known as that?
Well, I was one of the first women to come out of the closet from the corporate sector, and not only do that, but I had a magazine that I built to a $6.5 million company. I have my own line of products and branded
And you must
products.
be thinking, I mean, no disrespect, Cheryl, but you must be thinking, if this carries on being legalized all over America, this is the biggest ka-ching your business is ever going to see, isn't it?
This is the green rush, and I knew when my health got better that I wanted to be a part of it, and I wanted to lead it and hopefully be a good role model for other people to provide jobs. The bottom line is cannabis is here to stay. It's the toothpaste is out of the tube. It's not going away, and cannabis is not only a plant that can heal a multitude of illnesses, it can heal our economy, and it can provide programs for single mothers who need childcare, for our veterans that are coming back from the war with PTSD. We're losing more veterans in this country from PTSD and suicide, and cannabis was even recognized by the VA administration as being helpful for these disorders.
That is very true. It is true. I mean, a lot of these things you can see that it could be helpful for. There will still be people, let me talk to you about this, there'll be people watching saying, no, I'm just not buying this. I've got kids. If they take cannabis, they'll start taking cocaine, they'll start taking heroin. It's the slippery slope. What do you say? This is fascinating. Yeah, I had no idea what to expect. I thought, part of me thought, I'm going to get a full bunch of stoners in here, and it's going to be a very difficult interview. But you're clearly not, and you're smart women who've clearly worked out this is good for you. It is legal, and it is coming to America fast. So, ladies, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.